Hi everybody, I'm Mark Ansel, Regional Consultant with Amert Energy. I got a product for you here I'm calling Free in 15. What I'm looking for is for everybody to get free energy in 15 weeks. The idea is to gather one customer each week for 15 weeks. This is going to be a great marketing tool for you to tell your prospects and your other consultants that you have free electric and gas for the rest of your life. And you did it in just 15 weeks. Not only that, you're looking at the money involved. $60 a bill for your electric, $60 for your gas. You're going $120 month after month after month. You're looking like $1,500 a year for the rest of your life. So what a great idea to give yourself free energy. It's the crown jewel of our business, of our company. So we brought in today Tim Lukasik, regional consultant. He's the best in our business at customer gathering. So please listen to what he's got to tell you. Follow his lead. He's got his free energy, and the rest of us can get ours. So here's Tim Lukasik.
Hi, thanks, Mark. Um, Truth be told, one of the things that lured me to this business was the free energy. That was one of the things that I strive for first. And so, what I want to try to do is give a presentation for consultants to look at to help understand the nature of customer gathering. It is a little bit different, and so I want to be able to talk to you to help you out and hopefully get you some helpful hints and pointers. So, really, when you look at it, why do we even have to gather customers? And truthfully, I came up with 5 reasons why we should gather customers. For one, when you start the business, you have to upfront some type of a money uh, to be affiliated with our company, and they return that favor by offering jumpstart bonuses. The only way you can achieve that, the only way you can make that initial financial commitment back is through these jumpstart bonuses at the beginning. And that's the first of the reasons. The second of the reasons is the 526 is a method that we use to promote in our business. And 526, you need at least 5 customer points to promote to that next level. And so that's the second of the reasons. The third of which we actually touched upon, and that is the free energy. The free energy, again, huge selling point, but you need at least 15 customers in your gas besides yourself, and 15 customers in your electrical customer group besides yourselves to satisfy the free energy. So you have to satisfy that to get it. And the fourth of which of your 5 reasons to gather customers is your residual income. This takes a little while to get started, but how residual income works is every customer you gather, you get a certain amount of money for that customer. And as you sign other business partners and they sign customers, you get a little bit more residual income for every customer they sign. And that continues on level after level after level. But to reap the benefits of the higher levels, the level 6, the level 7 consultants underneath you, you have to have at least 20 customer points. So that said, another really important reason to have customers in your business or your organization. The fifth reason that we gather customers is so that you can actually transfer customers downline to help your organization downline consultants. You need 21 customer points to actually be able to transfer a customer down to somebody underneath you. Very handy, because if they actually sign somebody, you don't get paid unless they meet their jumpstart bonus. So essential that you help them to meet their jumpstart bonus. So those are the 5 reasons why we gather customers. That said, no leadership bonuses, no jumpstart bonuses unless you get those customers. So they are vital. In fact, a friend of mine, Dan Caro, another regional consultant, said they're the lifeblood of our organization. You don't have any customers, basically you don't get paid. So they are essential. Now, AMBA teaches us a duplicatable method to recruit business partners and customers. Really, there's an essential question you have to ask. Are you open to, are your options open to making any additional money? And if so, you've opened the door for your prospect to see the business presentation. And if they do see the presentation, they're going to go 2 ways. One way, they could say, you know what, this is for me. I'm going for it. I want in. The other way they can go is just to say, I don't think this is for me. And that opens the door for you to say, well, then would you be interested in saving some money on your gas and electric bills? And then you can go about proceeding to invite them to be a customer. Now, the other option here is if they're not interested in seeing this presentation and you can't get them to see either the website or the DVD or an actual business presentation, which I believe is the most effective anyhow, then at that point, now your only option is to try to sign them as a customer. And so now you've got to kind of approach this a little bit differently. Um, you got to have a game plan, and what I would recommend is making sure they have something written down to hand to that person. So not only can they review it again, just to say, you know what, well, let me see, is this worth it? But also to show their spouse. They could totally be on board with this. You could explain everything to them about being a customer and how it's beneficial and how we can save them money and the perks and everything that goes along with it. But the bottom line is they got to run it by their spouse. And if their spouse is not on board with it, you don't stand a chance. And most people won't remember what you told them to get from the very first part that you told them to relay that information correctly to their actual spouse. So the best thing, have some literature prepared. Make sure that you do it eloquently. Make sure it's spell checked and everything else. But for the most part, it needs to be brief, bulleted. Maybe have a top 10 list, things that our company does, whether it be a guaranteed savings, whether it be travel points, whether it be the free weekend that you get at a hotel stay. All those things should be listed there. Maybe what's the Better Business Bureau rating, which right now we have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, and for most people just transferring their service over to our company, they're improving their customer service relations. So that's a big selling point. Guaranteed savings is another selling point. In New York now we have a 2% guaranteed savings. That's another big selling point. But the sheet needs to be brief. It needs to be bulleted, and make sure you hit those things that would be good for them to know as a customer. Also, our company's accomplishments speak for themselves. They should be listed. Right now, New York State, they have J.D. Power listing us as the #1 ranked customer satisfaction company for energy suppliers in the state. That speaks volumes. Okay, you need to have those things listed underneath it as well, along with how do I get my free energy, and maybe the website listed with the steps on it. So if they wanted to enroll themselves, they could do that. Those are all things that I would put on it, and I do have on my sheet. Not to mention, it's a smart idea. Staple your business card to it. Put your phone number somewhere next to it. Okay. And last but not least, have a section saying if you're interested in starting your business, you can use this website. Log on and learn more about being an actual marketing consultant for a company. So those are things that I would have on it. But make sure you have that game plan. Now, by the time you're prepared and you're ready for the actual invite, you have to understand the nature of the invite of a customer. It's like planting a seed. This idea of them accepting to change their electric and gas service to your company, it's a big deal. People don't like change. It's a paradigm shift. You have to actually get to the point where you have to make them feel comfortable from switching from the norm to this new idea and be okay with it. So it may not happen at first. You may present them the information. You may have to wait for them to talk to their spouse. They get back to you, and then it's a continual relationship that you have to go back and forth and talk. It may take a while for you to do this, but remember, it's not done in a day. This is a process. So even a yes on somebody signing as a consultant, they need to still get their account number, which means they have to go home and get their bill. And if that's not the case, then they have to, dig up an old one out of the files or whatever the case may be. It takes time for them to do this. So just keep that in mind. This is not an overnight thing. You are planting a seed. It takes time for a seed to grow, and it also takes time for this idea to wear in people's mind to change from their old, normal, comfortable place. But the thing I like about this is you have to have relationships with these people. If you're going to get them to sign, they need to trust you, and that's what this whole business is based on. In fact, if you listen to any of Jim or Kim Mason's things on the conference calls, they'll always talk about one of the best parts of this business, and I agree with them, is fostering a good relationship. You get to meet so many new people, and the people that you also get to try to help them out. So it is about relationships, and they were much more apt to sign it on with you as a customer, somebody that they trust, over just some mass market mailing or a billboard sign. So these are really good things in your favor if you talk to people that you're friends with. So that said, that is why Ambit works. That Ambit way, that's why it works, because people trust you. That's why I enjoy this business, because I am helping them, and also they're helping me. This is a win-win relationship. Couple things that are important for the invite. When you invite somebody to be a customer, you have to think like a customer. What are some things that are going through their mind? If I were to sign on with an electric or gas supply company, what would be running through my mind? Is there a contract? People don't like to be linked into a long-term commitment, especially if it's a bad business endeavor. All right. Are there perks? Am I saving more money? Is it going to cost me anything? What appeals to me? Be prepared to answer these questions because they're going to come to you with these, and you need to be able to satisfy those things. All right. I think one of the greatest things about our company is there's no long-term commitment or contract. They can cancel any month. It's on a month-to-month basis, and the perks are fantastic. And you're guaranteeing in New York State that you're going to save money. That's awesome, and that speaks volumes. And also, one of the first things you do as a consultant is sign yourself up, tell them about your own experience. Listen, I've been a customer for months. My customer service has been great. I'm earning travel rewards points. I get a guaranteed savings. And you know what? Nothing has changed with my service. In fact, my customer service, if I ever have a problem, has just gotten better. So these things they need to be conveyed and make sure that they understand it, that you are a customer too. This is something that I do, and I wouldn't tell you if I didn't do it myself. Um, the next thing is in being prepared, you should have a sheet and be prepared for those people that are just not technologically savvy. Okay, have a sheet filled out with basically a template made out with if they were going to sign as a customer, what information would they have to fill out? My name, my address, my email address, my phone number, the account number for my gas and electric. Those things you would need those anyhow to put on the computer, but don't let not having a computer be a roadblock. Have a sheet made up. Oh, you don't have the computer? No, there's no problem. Here, fill this out, give it back to me. We'll be in good shape. I'll put these things in myself, and then I'll give you a sheet with a phone number. You can call yourself and verify the authenticity that you authorized this changeover. But be prepared for that. And then you also run into those people that just don't want the hassle. I've had people just say, look, here's my old bill. You do it. Fine. I have no problem with that. I have no problem driving to your house to do it. All right. But be prepared for that because people don't want to put forth that effort. And if that's what it takes, do it for them. Um, and don't be alarmed if you get a no. It doesn't mean they're totally opposed to it. It just means right now they're not ready for it. Okay, don't burn a bridge. That may come back. All right. But the big thing is after you've made your presentation, you've talked to them, they talk to their spouse, make sure you follow up on it. And this is a really big thing. Whether it's an invite to be a business partner and see a presentation or a customer, you have to follow up. Make a list, call your people, make your presentation, follow up on it. If not, you've lost them. And if you wait a week or two, it's over. All right, they've pretty much put it on the back burner. You got to follow up the next day, ask if they have questions. Did it make sense? Just like you would for a normal business presentation, but you got to ask them, and say, I'd like to earn your business and give you the opportunity to save some money. That's a really big line that I've used, and it's worked quite a lot. Also ask, are you ready to sign up? If you have no questions, well, you're ready. Because quite honestly, I'm guaranteeing you're going to save money. And in most cases, that takes a second or two, and they're kind of like, well, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe it does make sense. With no contract, no long-term commitment, you're guaranteeing to save money. Where's the risk? That's big, okay? But remember, don't burn a bridge. And again, like I said, I've had people I've talked to. I've talked to them. I've gave them the literature, and I've gotten a call a month later. All right, and they said, you know what? I think I'm ready to sign up. And I gave them the literature, and all I did is plant that seed. And that's what you're doing. This is not a 1 month organization. It's a long-term commitment. You're in this, if you join Ambit and you put 100% into it, you're a lifer. You're in it for life. And what you want to do is just don't burn a bridge. Remember, it could come back. And these people hopefully will come back to see you eventually when they understand it or when they're finally ready to make that jump. But above all, do not argue with them. You're not going to win an argument. If they're at a point where they're confrontational and saying, I'm not ready for this, then they're clearly not ready. You're not going to talk them into it if they're at the argument stage. You're not going to win that way. The people around you are going to see it. It's going to turn them off. And not to mention, you're going to start to spin your wheels. You're going to feel defeated. They're going to feel offended. And now you've just ruined a relationship. Remember, you're trying to provide an opportunity for them and to help them. Don't make it into an uncomfortable moment. You don't want to feel like a pest. You want to do them a favor. So that's a really big thing. But another thing here is don't forget, businesses are potential customers. Small businesses are great to sign up because they raise the average on your customers, your customer average as far as how much your customers use for your free energy. And so don't neglect the small businesses. You take your car into the shop, they fix it up for you. You know what? You gave them business and say, I appreciate you working on my car. You've been great. You've been great to me. Maybe I can give you the opportunity to save some money too, and we can help each other out. Sometimes it's a win-win situation in that respect too. The mom and pop five and dime greasy spoons, the little shops that are not chain stores, because the chain stores usually go through a corporate office, but the little small commercial businesses, you know, they are a great customer. And a lot of times, if you do business with them, that's a great time at that point saying, hey, maybe I can help you out too. That opens the door. And that's worked for me fairly well also. Because Ambit helps small commercial businesses as well, and so I think that's also a really great opportunity. But remember, again, a no doesn't mean a no forever. It just means no at this point. I'm not comfortable with it. So to sum it up, customers are the lifeblood of our organization. You can't earn money without them, and your business would be nothing without them. Relationships definitely are the key. Be prepared with some literature to hand out to people because signing a customer does not happen overnight. They need to have something, and you need to be prepared. Plant that seed because there still may be a yes in the future. Make sure you follow up, and above all, again, end your conversation tactfully. No arguments or anything like that. But I hope your adventure into getting customers was as fun as mine, and I hope this was helpful for you. So.
Tim, I got one question for you. If I'm a brand new consultant and I want to approach a potential customer, what would you say to them? What would be the first things you might say to get the thing rolling? What would you start out if I'm new? What do I say? What would you say to me if you wanted to get me as a customer?
Well, I think normal conversation is a big thing. If you can start to talk somewhat about finances and talking about, maybe it's a cold winter. Gas bills are going to be a little bit higher now. That opens the door up to, well, you know what? It's interesting you said that because, I started a business, a part-time business that helps people like you and like me to save some money. And if you're interested, I could tell you more about it. If it's warm out, electric bills goes up high. They go up very high in the summertime with air conditioning or pools, that sort of thing. So when that happens, it also opens the door up and say, with the electric bills being so high, I get a way I can save you some money and use that as an open door. And then at that point, have literature ready and talk to them about the things that we just mentioned. So I think that's a good.
So a lot of times you might be looking for an opening. You might be capitalizing on an opening in a normal conversation. It might just come up. You might be able to just capitalize on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
In another instance, let's say you were to call someone on the phone. You were going to call up someone on the phone that you thought maybe you weren't going to be a consultant. They had no shot of being a consultant. Maybe an older person in your, whatever, an older aunt or something is not going to be a consultant. What would you say to them right away? You want to get your jump start. I want everybody to get the first five. What would you say to them right off the bat to gather them as a customer on a phone call?
Well, I think the big thing to realize here is, again, you have to put yourself in the place of the customer. If you were a customer, what fears would you have? And you have to address that. And first of all, I think it is important to say, hey, how are you doing? I was thinking about you. But I don't think you want to have a real long, elaborate conversation and then jump to the ambit conversation, because then it seems like that you've had this big scheme to schmooze them over, and
right.
then you're at it. So, opening with, I started a part-time business. We are in a business of helping people save money. I thought about you. We could really do you a great service, and talk about those things that people fear, like, what? For first of all starters, there is no contract with us, but we guarantee you'll save money. And every 12 months, we'll send you a verification stating that you will save money. I think that's a really big thing. There is no contract. There's no cost to cancel it. There's a guaranteed savings. There's even travel points as a reward. Those things are all big. And so you gotta make sure that you point those concerns out. And then talk to them. Hey, when can we meet so that I can give you some literature on it, or can I send you some literature? Those people have email, or can I drop something off to talk to you? It's definitely more effective if you talk in person. That is for sure, and I've noticed that. And again, that's why this is great for the relationships.
Yeah. Absolutely. We want to help people get their jumpstart bonuses, get themselves started off on the right foot to get going and get those bonuses right off the bat, as well as, of course, our free energy but some people you just want to get going. I've had some success with saying, hey, can you just do me a favor? It's not going to cost you anything. It's going to save you a few bucks, but more importantly, you're helping me out. We're not. Couldn't you do that for me?
Yeah.
And if they say, well, what is that? I just say, you know what? It's not going to cost you a penny. It's going to save you a few bucks, but more importantly, you're helping me out. Can you do that for me? Mm-hmm. And then when they say yes, then I'll get into. I just started a new business. I'm looking for a few customers to get going. There's no contracts or no lock-ins or anything like that. We're going to help you out, and usually that works out pretty good.
I agree. And by the way, piggybacking on that, that works very effective with these small businesses, especially if you just purchased something or you got a service from them and you paid a significant amount of money. I mean, let's think if you paid $200 to get something done in your car and you've got a small little mechanic shop or you've got a small little greasy spoon that you're a regular customer and they see you and say, listen, I bet you the gas bills are really high here. I mean, you cook all day, every day. I think I can help you out, and open the door that way and talk to them like that. Sometimes me helping you and you helping me, it works together and it's a win-win situation. So use that. I think that's really important.
I got a T-shirt shop the exact same way. I'm not kidding. I went in there. It was cold out. I'm like, man, I said, I'm looking around. I look at all these presses or doing T-shirt shops. I said, man, what's the electric bill in this joint doing all these T-shirt shops? He goes, oh my God, it's unbelievable. I said, I tell you what, I got a reason. I can help you out. And he signed up. I got his electric and gas in the T-shirt shop.
And that's perfect.
Just from that. I wasn't even trying. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was coming to pick up T-shirts. But I noticed the stuff. I said something. Boom, customer.
And again, the relationship that you fostered, the conversations that things bring up.
Oh yeah, granted, I probably bought 500 T-shirts from the guy before, but whatever. You just bring it up, and it works, and it just falls into place.
And again, that's the beauty of this business. You're talking to people, you're building relationships, you're helping people, and that's really honestly the ambit way.
Yeah, I didn't go out to get a customer. I went out to pick up my T-shirts, and I want to get a customer.
Absolutely. Everybody's a potential customer. Just remember that and have fun doing it. And we thank you for tuning in. So.